How's it going? Anyway, just a recap of the weekend here on SAFC Fan TV with the 1-0 victory over Southend United. Overall, pretty solid performance. Looked a whole lot better in terms of our defensive shape, which is all down to Parkinson, I think. But praises go to Denver Hume, who I would say has been our most improved player since Parkinson's come in. He's looking to take fullbacks on a lot more now. He's looking to get up the pitch a lot quicker. And also it was his ball into the box that provided the only goal for Luke O'Nien to get the header and put it in the far corner, which is, you can only just appreciate over the course of the season how much of a better player he's going to be under this manager, because I think under Ross, he did show talent at times, but it wasn't quite up to scratch in times in games where we needed him most. The disappointing factor, however, Will Grigg, it's just once again not happening for him at the moment. When you watch him play, it's almost like, I mean, I can understand the fans' frustrations on Twitter. It's almost like he just doesn't seem interested. And when you have him in the starting lineup with the squad players we have, it's almost like he doesn't fit this style of play that Parkinson wants to inflict on the team. It feels like with Will Grigg, you have to get balls into the box constantly, which I think we're a little bit more technical in that. We do like possession style. We know we do have a lot of midfielders that like to keep the ball, hold on to it at times, and look for a pass and work our way into the box rather than going route one, which I think that's what Wigan did when they had Will Grigg. Disappointments, however, I thought it was a missed opportunity in terms of to whack up the goal difference, considering you look at the goals that Ipswich and Peterborough have scored this season against teams in the bottom half of the league. They've been scoring for fun. And you would say it was a missed opportunity, but you have to remember this is Sol Campbell's second game in charge of Southend. He would have made them a lot more organised, harder to beat. And I think they set up well at times. They did frustrate us. And I think what was touched upon, especially on the radio on Saturday, was the fact we just have such a lack of pace in the team at the moment. And I think when we brought Duncan Watmore onto the pitch, I think he provided that. And we looked so much better going on the counter-attack. And I think there was a really big chance missed towards the end of the game where Watmore was through and he just needed to square the pass to McNulty and he would have been one-on-one with the keeper, which I think we've said for many years now, Watmore, it's just that final pass that lets him down. But I think with Duncan Watmore, he's so much better as an impact player, coming off the bench, running at teams, running at tired defences in the latter stages of games. I think if you start him, he just gets a little bit worn out as the games go on, because I think defences in this league struggle to cope with his pace at times, which I think over the course of the season, if we can keep him fit, I think that could be a huge factor in the latter stages of the season. But it was disappointing the way how Chris Maguire played. I think he may need a rest out the team. I think he's just looking a bit tired at the moment. I think his balls lacked a bit on Saturday. I think like him trying to get the ball into the box was a little bit sloppy, and I think if we're going to use Chris Maguire, I think he's best in that number 10 role, where if he finds space outside the box, he's always looking to have a shot at goal, which is the same with Max Power as well. But I think Max Power is a lot more effective when we play him in a deeper role. But onto our midfield also, George Dobson had a very effective game. Considering the fact against Oxford during the week he was playing on the right-hand side, we moved him back to the middle on Saturday and he kept the ball so well. His combination play with Max Power in terms of keeping the ball and passing it between each other is becoming a lot better. Personally, I thought that McGeoch's partnership with Power is a lot better, but I think we have to take into account that George Dobson is still very young. He's got a lot of talents to show in this league, which he showed at Walsall last season. I think the more games he has in the side, like we said with Denver Hume, he'll only improve as a player. But McLaughlin was a little bit slow coming off his line, but overall I think we looked pretty comfortable at the back. I mean, they didn't really offer much in terms of efforts on goal, so it's hard to judge. I mean, it'll be a lot easier to judge this side when we're up against a far more effective team further up the league, because I think Saturday was all about getting those 3 points at the end of the day. But it is a very big missed opportunity, considering, I think, was it Sean touched this on the channel, the goal difference could be a huge factor we'll look back on at the end of the season, and we could look back on that game against Southend at the weekend, where if we scored a few more, that could have given us a higher league position. But we'll take the 3 points for now, and we'll move on to the under-21s game in the EFL Trophy against Leicester on Tuesday, which I'm expecting Parkinson to make a couple of changes for that. But I'm expecting him to keep a pretty solid side for the Gillingham FA Cup game next week, which I know it's the FA Cup, and that's the debate people had last season, whether these cup competitions distracted our league form a little bit. But I do think he will put a pretty decent attacking team out in that. I think he'll chop and change Tuesday, which I can understand, and give some under-23s players a run in the squad, considering we are up against a reserve Leicester side. But in the Gillingham game, I hope we go for it and put in a display where the fans can be proud of, and said we have a go, because we have to use this as an advantage, considering the fact we normally tend to score all the time when we're playing at home at the minute. I mean, every time I watch us play at home, it just doesn't look like we're not going to score. I think every time we come forward with the ball, I think because the opposition, it's the biggest crowd they've ever played in front of in their career, I think it causes them to get distracted a little bit, and we like to take advantage of that. So I'm going to go for a win in both games. I'm going to say in the FA Cup game against Gillingham, I'm going to go for a solid 2-0 win, and I'm going to go for a 3-1 win on Tuesday night. How are the lads? Keep the faith.